Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bad Moms in Business, the podcast.
I'm Bridgette Robertson.
I'm Amanda Sharp.
I'm Danielle Monahan. So today we're going to talk about recipes, our favorite recipes, under 30 minutes or close to it. But first, let's address the elephant in the room. We're all in the same clothes here. We all look the same.
We haven't showered for 7 days. No.
I just washed this, put this right back on, did my hair exactly the same.
Absolutely.
So
why are we in the same outfits? Let's address that.
We wanted to get a week ahead. It's been very, very hard scheduling out social media posts, getting things edited, getting things, descriptions made and links created and all of this. It's been a lot of work and we do it in about 24 hours. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. We busy ladies.
We're very busy. And the kicker of all of this is I understood that we needed to get ahead, but I understood it in the manner of, let's have one in the can. So if Bridgette gets sick or Amanda gets sick or Danielle gets sick and we can't record, we have one to post. Yeah. Where for months, Danielle's tried to convey. Now we want to get ahead a week.
Yeah.
That way we have a week instead of 24 hours. And the light bulb went on for me. And I was like, I got it now.
I feel like I didn't do my job at explaining it really well. And every time it didn't land, I'm like, well, that's fine too. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I don't have that many emotional feelings about this. I don't care that much. And then
she tried so hard and every time we were just like, okay.
Yeah, we should
too. Bridgette and I were on the same boat together going.
So this comes back on me, y'all. This comes back on the way that I was describing it to you guys. It's fine.
Also, let the record show that Amanda says, have one in the can so that if one of us is sick, we don't have to record. And here I am with COVID recording 2 podcast episodes in a row. So if that's not commitment, I don't know what is.
This is true. But had we been one ahead, I'm just saying.
True.
I'm just saying.
I mean, if you really weren't feeling well, we wouldn't be doing this, Bridgette. I mean,
just kidding.
I think today's a perfect day because your schedule is very open.
I'm sorry.
I literally have nothing else to do.
Right? It was the perfect opportunity. Oh, we didn't talk about what we just recorded during the last recording about our website.
Oh, we didn't.
So we're going to do it now.
Guys, we have a website. Can everybody, I would like a moment of silence and then a round of applause for our dear friend, Bridgette Robertson, because she killed it. Knocked it out of the park.
Silence and applause.
Listen, I have been very vocal about how you guys work so hard on this podcast. Amanda does the editing. All of our social media stuff is Danielle, and I show up on Tuesdays and I might write a description or two. Write a description or two. Get out of here. I do not do half the work that they do. So the website was owed to them, and after a couple weeks of riding this wave, I'm going to have to find something else to earn my keep around here.
We have some other ideas. We have some other things in the pipeline. We got some ideas coming.
Yeah.
But to have that check marked off as complete.
Yes.
And so that way we can say, find us at badmomsinbusiness.com.
Yep.
That'll funnel them to wherever they want to go destination wise. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, podcast. And we have some new pictures on there too that we love.
Yes.
We have some new pictures. We've been, we had some pictures done. We were doing some things with our Instagram. We're doing some TikToks around here. We have arrived, guys.
I mean, I feel like we have.
As much as I push back on the TikTok thing, we're doing it.
And I appreciate that. I come up with these crazy ideas, or our viewers give us some crazy ideas. And it's me being extremely persistent that I make these 2 get me what I need for your entertainment, of course.
I feel like one of us is a little bit more willing to do it than the other, but we're not going to point fingers here. It's fine.
But they're great and they're fun, and they just show a mini clip of our personalities. So it's super, super fun, and really very little effort once I actually get the recordings.
It just takes some time sometimes. That's all.
Sometimes.
Listen, there's a lot that goes into like my hair is unruly. It's awful. It's terrible. And it doesn't matter if like the rest of like if the face is put together and the clothes are like decent, whatever. But if the hair is nasty, like nobody wants to see that. And that's I feel like I should do like a what you guys see if you guys are actually watching us as opposed to listening to it. And then what Danielle looks like 90% of the time, like two very different things.
I feel like Bridgette and I are the ones that aren't always getting complimented about how perfect they are. So whatever, Danielle.
I'm not going to name any names, but
Stop. It's all an illusion.
I'm not going to name any names, but a certain friend of mine, Michelle, is obsessed with Danielle.
Just threw it right out there.
Her perfection.
Which it's super cute and I love it. But like every week she's like, Danielle's skin looks so good today. And I'm like, what about me? Well, we know that my skin doesn't look like Danielle's, but like I get a lot of compliments on Danielle. That's all I'm saying.
As do I.
Listen, you guys, you're gonna make my head way too big here. No, this is all an illusion. This is all an act. This, there's just a lot happening here. My skin regimen, we've talked about it before, is very
Here, let me get bougie. Out my pencil roller.
I don't really need to do that. Just I have quite a lengthy process. Half the time Brandon's like, are you still in the bathroom? Like, what could you possibly be doing? And I'm like halfway through my my process. And he's like, seriously, what's going on? I don't understand.
It shows the effort is worth it.
I'm trying, I got the wrinkles. Anyway, it don't matter. But I thank it. Thank you so much. That makes me feel good. I try so hard.
My thing is I'm the oldest of all of us, so I'm allowed to be wrinkled. I'm just gonna hold that.
I'm counting down the days till I get Botox. Counting down the days. I don't know when, but it's happening at some point. I promise. I give it 5 years max, but probably like within the next 3, 4.
He has strong feelings about her Botox. Mm-hmm. It's already on the calendar, knowing that Danielle's a planner. It's on the calendar.
For sure.
So recipes.
Yeah, recipes. What do you guys got for me? Bridgette, we gonna do our order that we normally do?
We sure can. So the first recipe I have, we all know I've been very clear, I think, on here about how I am not the cook of the family. That is Chris. However, a couple recipes, or one of the recipes that we've tried recently and really enjoyed is a Southwest chicken egg roll. It is so good. And we'll link all of the recipes, so we don't have to get into the whole thing, but it's just chicken and bell peppers and corn and whatever else, I can't remember now. And you throw it in an egg roll wrapper and roll it up, and you can either toss it in your air fryer or you can toss it into the oven to, get it to crisp up. My biggest trick though with this is to buy at Meijer here anyway, they sell already shredded rotisserie chicken.
Which this was completely news to me. My jaw hit the floor when you said that. Yeah. Hit the floor the first time you said that.
Yeah. So if you are really a mom in a rush, and we all are a lot of the time, you can get this pre-shredded, pre-cooked. It was a rotisserie chicken that Meijer shredded for you and put in a little container. And that's the chicken that we used in order to make them. So fast and easy, and they are so good, and they're Weight Watchers friendly, which I think is important to add if you don't even have to be on Weight Watchers, obviously, to enjoy that, but they're healthy. So super delicious, and that's my contribution number 1.
I'll go with mine.
Yeah, you're up.
Oh, got it. I didn't know why I thought we were both doing like the 2 at the same time.
Oh, we can.
Yeah, I don't care.
Your strategy is much better than what I had in my head. Bridgette's like, I know. I mean, It is what it is, Amanda. So what's interesting, because anyone who knows me knows that sometimes my stomach isn't solid as a rock as other people's stomachs. I mean, we all know that Amanda has more of a sensitive stomach, but I love spicy foods like with jalapenos and stuff. So it's really weird. Sometimes the risk is worth it, right? And so my first meal, it's basically you just take chicken breast. And you can literally do it a couple different ways. You can just cut up a block of cream cheese and put it on top. And then you sprinkle. You can either use I get kind of allergic reaction to any kind of jalapenos on my hands. They'll burn for like a day.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's all the oils. And so I have to either wear gloves or I just buy the already diced up jalapenos in the can.
Yep.
Because that seems to help. So why I would put that in my stomach when it eats up my hands,
I was just about to ask that.
But
I was seriously just about to ask that, just thinking the same exact thing. Like, what?
Why would you do that? I know. So I just sprinkled the can jalapenos, the chopped up, on top of the cream cheese, cover it with cheddar cheese, and it's so delicious. And the cream cheese really brings down the heat of the jalapenos.
That's a good point. So it might not be super spicy.
It can be spicy. Like there's occasionally like a bite or two that you're like, whew, making me sweat a little bit, but the burn is so worth it.
I fell in love with jalapenos a couple of years ago, and it's been a game changer for me. I love them.
I hear it makes your metabolism work better.
I didn't know that.
I heard that. I don't know if there's any accuracy to it.
I'm gonna look into it.
Has that been my problem this whole time? Is that
spicy up, Bridgette? It's spicy.
Do you not like spicy food at all?
I'm such a wimp. I like it, but I'm such a wimp that I can have like a bite and then I'm out for the day.
She can't handle horror movies or jalapenos. Let the record show.
No. Here's my deal with spicy food. I like spicy and flavorful. I don't like spicy just for the sake of being hot. Like I'm not into the ghost peppers and all of that. I like the flavor that goes along with the spice and the heat.
And that's where like the cream cheese like kind of makes it creamy, and the cheese on top. It just is super good. I think you would really like it. And it's so fast and so easy.
So, okay, both of my meals, I'm going to throw this out there. This is not sponsored. I am not sponsored. We are not sponsored. Both of my meals are from HelloFresh. We have been subscribers of HelloFresh like on and off for a couple of years. We're not doing it right now, but we recreate these meals once we find them and we fall in love, because I'm not a cooker. I'm not the chef in the family at all. Brandon, I will give you a quick tip here. I have actually not made either of these meals that I'm about to talk about. Brandon has.
It's like you've made them.
Right, exactly. It's the same thing. We're one. We're married. What's his is mine. So it's basically like I did it. So, but so we've done this HelloFresh thing on and off a couple of times. And so I forgot exactly where I was going to go with that. So I want to make sure I have this name proper, because they have very lengthy names for a lot of their things. It is the Presto Pesto Panko chicken.
Oh boy.
Presto. So, that's a mouthful.
Presto Pesto Panko chicken. And so what we just call it at home is Presto Pesto. We're just like, oh, you making Presto Pesto? Okay, cool. So it's your chicken breast, and then you put the Presto on it, and then you cover it in the panko, and then you bake it that way. Oh, and then there's cheddar cheese on it as well, and then you bake it that way. I also wanted to give one quick side note, and that none of us are vegans. None of us are vegetarians. So we apologize if any of these, like, we don't want to offend anybody or anything like that. This is just what works for our busy lives and our families at this point. But we will link the full recipe for this down below. It's not super lengthy. It takes about 30 minutes to kind of create everything, because it takes the eggs and the milk and stuff like that for that kind of batter. So you can put the panko on and all of that kind of fun stuff. But it's crispy and it's so good. And I wanted to give one more point too. Shout out to a past guest of ours, Miss Lindsay Wolf. Love her so much. Brandon and I have since joined her like coaching program that she has. And we had to start over because we started it right as we were moving. What were we thinking? And so we were like, can we like put this on pause for a minute? And so we just started back up yesterday and took our beginning measurements and stuff. But I love what I'm learning so far. And these two meals that I have kind of go along with things that would work for us, and like having a bunch of veggies on the side and things like that. But this is hands down my favorite meal that we make at home. Hands down my favorite meal. So good.
Nice.
I didn't know you could get so passionate about a meal, because Danielle's kind of like, yeah, food's food.
You know, I'm not a foodie. I like Benihana. Like that's really about it. But there's a couple of meals that I just love so much.
That sounds delicious.
I'm excited to try that. I think Chris would like that. I mean,
and
so good.
When Bridgette says that, she means I'm gonna have Chris make that so I can try it.
COVID.
Yeah, I have COVID. I can't touch food. So my next one was shared with me by a friend of mine from my 2012. I can't remember what year my kid was born. I have a mom board, and it's a group of moms from all over the country. And Jen, who happens to listen to the podcast, gave us this recipe, and it's so good. It is BBQ Bacon Meatloaf with garlic mashed potatoes.
Ooh, you got me there.
Yes, it's an instant pot recipe, so it's probably a little longer than 30 minutes by the time everything gets up to pressure, but it only goes into the instant pot for 20 minutes. Yeah, so it's barbecue sauce in place of your traditional ketchup, right? And then it's chopped up bacon. You cook about 6 pieces of bacon, chop it up real fine, toss it in with your meatloaf and the breadcrumbs and all of that. And then instead of basting it with ketchup at the end, you baste it with barbecue sauce again. It is a home run meal. Jace, it's so funny. I just saw a Facebook memory from a couple of years ago when I made meatloaf, not this one, a different one. And it was like a conversation between me and Jace. And Jace said, I thought meatloaf was supposed to be good or something like that.
Oh no.
Which he had to have been really little at the time too, I might add.
Yeah, he was. So always been a brat is the lesson we're learning. I'm just kidding. But this is his hands down favorite meal. He loves it. And then you put the potatoes right in with the meat, so it all cooks together.
Interesting.
You throw some garlic in there, you throw a bay leaf in there, it all cooks together. You can mash the potatoes when it's done right in the pot.
Wow.
And it's delicious.
I have a question. I've never been a meatloaf kind of gal.
Sure.
Never been my forte. So I wonder if I would actually really like this. Can you substitute the bacon for like turkey bacon?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't like regular bacon at all. I don't know. It's just
we
weird.
love
But I love
anyway.
turkey bacon.
It's okay.
I also don't like onions or cheese.
we're aware of that.
There's no onions or cheese in this recipe. So yeah, you could totally sub it with turkey bacon. And in fact, I got super lazy last time we did it, and we had bacon, like real bacon bits, not those crunchy ones, like you know. And I used that instead of cooking bacon, so that really cut down on the time too.
Interesting.
And it was just as delicious.
See, that's just smart. Work smarter, not harder.
That's it.
And I guess I'll go into my second recipe saying that I cook for our family, but I'm not the cook of the family. Marcus, by all means, is a much better chef / cook than I am and always will be. In fact, Owen, since you were talking about Jace talking about meatloaf and it was supposed to be good, Owen the other day said to me, Mom, do you know every time you cook chicken, I feel like there's a really good chance that I'll catch a disease. He did not say food poisoning.
Ouch.
He went straight for disease. So I did what any rational person would do at that time, recorded a TikTok. Like, I'm going to forget these words. I have to throw it out there.
Oh my gosh.
Because, it's not wrong.
Oh my gosh, how ridiculous.
I know. He's so funny. But my second recipe is, when I say it's so fast and easy, it is so fast and easy. Basically, you just use chicken broth from a box, from a can, whatever the case may be. If you want to be all fancy and cook it yourself, whatevs. But I do box or can. Throw in a bag of spinach, cook it down with some tortellini, the cheese tortellini, like bring it to a little bit of a boil. It's like boom and boom and boom and done. Like, I don't even think the whole thing, I think it's like 8 minutes or less. It's that quick. And I do some garlic bread with it. So basically, by the time I'm done doing the garlic bread, the soup is completely complete, and it is so good and so fast. And I mean, I'm sure it has sodium in it because of the chicken broth and stuff, but overall, I think it's a pretty healthy meal, kind of, sort of.
That sounds really good.
Oh, it's so good. And it makes a huge pot. So I usually have enough to feed us, and then I can freeze some for another time. So simple.
I love it when you're able to do that. So then that way it saves time later. You don't have to actually do more cooking later.
So, I mean, it's literally 8 minutes or less. It's fantastic. So super basic, and it's good.
Okay. To my last one, my second one. I don't know. Are you guys seafood people?
No.
Bridgette.
I know.
Okay. So you're not going to like this one at all. It is lobster ravioli and shrimp. So when we get this through HelloFresh, we get the lobster ravioli. A lot of times it's hard to find lobster ravioli where we live. So we just do the cheese ravioli, and it turns out just fine. This is so good, guys. So I'm going to read to you a couple of the things. Like, it just skipped on me. A couple of the ingredients, just so you know. But it has a lot of lemon in it, which you would think like, but it works so well with the shrimp. And it has like a tomato kind of base to it with some cream cheese in it. It is so, or not cream cheese, sorry, sour cream. Oh, it has cream cheese in it too. It's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And now actually that I think about it, this probably isn't like Lindsay friendly at all. The Nourish company, they're probably like, nah, maybe stick away from that one. But seriously, it's so good. It has, you can put like scallions on it. Brandon doesn't like scallions, and I'm not a big onion person, which anyways, it doesn't matter. But it has a bunch of the panko. I realized that both of ours has panko breadcrumbs in it. You put those like on top as like a crisper, and it is so good. I should show you guys a picture. Look at this picture.
And that's, I don't want to like, again.
It's so good.
Yum. It's not that we're plugging HelloFresh, but from a person who's also utilized it during those busy seasons, it's incredible how user-friendly the program is.
Yeah.
So easy.
It's so black and white what you're supposed to use with what recipe. I mean, it's a no-brainer, and oftentimes the containers are so cute.
Oh my gosh, they package it up so adorably.
It's so cute. It makes me want to just like get on it again. Man,
it totally sounds like we're sponsored. We are not sponsored. We just actually like them.
I used them once several years ago. And again, as someone who's not a cook, it is nice to have exactly what you need.
Yes.
There's no measuring. There's no worrying about, oh my gosh, did they need baking powder instead of baking soda? Did I put is that just me that does that? But yeah, it's super nice to just be able to literally open a sweet little container and dump it in and be done.
Because how many times, if you were to go to the store to get those ingredients, you're going to throw away something because you didn't have something else to use it up before it goes bad. I'm notorious for that. And I hate being wasteful. It is one thing that during this pandemic, I think more than ever, like, I'm very conscious of what I have to throw away. And I feel so ashamed because I remember not being able to buy that at the moment.
Same.
Yeah.
Can we like do a bonus round and talk about appetizers?
Oh, sure. You really sprung this out.
I don't know if I have an appetizer, but
there was sheer panic here at Bad Bombs in Business. I'll start. I'll start. It of course it is jalapenos. No, jalapenos for this are a little too spicy because we keep them whole. So we use the poblano peppers, which is kind of a step down, and they're more flexible, so they're easier to do it. And they're basically the pepper, you put cream cheese in it and you wrap it in bacon.
Oh.
And then you grill them, but you can also cook them in the oven. But grill makes them smoky and so delicious and makes the peppers nice and soft, which I think also brings down the heat a little bit. I don't know if that's true. And then they're so good.
Well,
Bridget's panicking a little. It's okay if you don't have one. I just wanted to share that bonus because I can't get it out of my mind now that we've been talking about bacon.
no, I mean, there is one thing. I don't know that it's an appetizer. Sometimes we make an entire meal out of it, which is really gross, if I'm being honest. But here we go.
I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued. Is that yes? Ooh, bring it, girl.
It's what my friend's family calls Mexi Lori, because her Aunt Lori made it and brought it to family functions. But it's a 9x13 pan. At the bottom, you put cream cheese. On top of that, you put Hormel chili with no beans.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, you put cheese. And you put it in the oven until it bubbles. And then you eat it with tortilla chips.
Oh, I was going to go for a dip kind of thing too.
So that
sounds good.
It's really good. I mean, it is so bad for you. But it's good.
I would totally also eat that as an entire meal.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
we do stuff like that all the time. It is probably part of our problem, but it's fine. So
Lindsay's not without a job.
Exactly.
As I sit here and put an M&M in my mouth.
Oh, I'm so jealous. If you guys can hear my stomach rumbling, I'm starving. Missed lunch today. It's fine. Okay, so I was gonna go for a dip too. I haven't made it in a couple of years, so don't come for me if it's not completely correct. But it's my mom's recipe. Use a full block of Velveeta cheese. Actually, now I'm thinking maybe it's half a block because I'm like, man, that's so big. I don't know. And it has salsa in it and ground beef and refried beans, and it is delectable. It's so good. And then, it's just a dip. So you eat it with chips and it's so good.
You put it in a crock pot?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. It's in a crock pot.
With refried. Oh, you had me at refried bean. I mean, you had me at Velveeta, but
we have swapped out the ground beef with like ground chicken or ground turkey usually just because it's leaner. I get kind of freaked out with ground beef sometimes. Am I alone in that?
No.
You get like, I don't know. It just kind of freaks me out. So yeah, we like to switch it out for like a leaner meat sometimes. And, but it's so good.
You know what though?
I want to make it.
Ground chicken freaks me out because it's like gray when it cooks. It's not.
Ground turkey does the same thing too. I think it's been a minute since we've made that.
Chicken, but yeah, it definitely does. But it cooks. I feel like it cooks faster, and it crumbles up easier than the shape that the stores are selling for the ground beef.
I was a vegetarian for 4 years and I could very easily go back because meat is just...
It's pretty gross.
I feel like what has changed in meat that's making it more gross? Is it our culture is changing, or is it that the meat is changing? Because I, who am not a vegetarian, absolutely am kind of going down that path to become more of that vegetarian, not even willingly. Like I made eggplant parmesan the other day and it turned out fabulous and I actually loved it. That's not Amanda 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Something's changing. It could be my
have you guys heard of Beyond Meat?
Yeah.
Yes. Have you tried it?
Yes, we recently tried it and it was amazing.
The packaging's intriguing. It looks very all natural. Like it's like kind of in like the browner box, right? It makes me think of like the farm fresh eggs and like the actual like cartons. It's very similar to that. I have not been brave enough to do it. So now that you've suggested it, I think I'll give it a go.
I'm a veggie burger fan. Like a lot of times, I guess not a lot of times, but sometimes when we go out to restaurants, which that's never, not right now, but before when we used to, I would occasionally get a veggie burger. So I don't hate them anyways. But we got two different kinds, two different times. And the first time we tried Beyond Meat, and it literally tasted like meat.
That's so fascinating.
It was crazy. Tasted like meat.
That
And then the second time we got an off brand, and that tasted slightly different.
that brand, that Beyond brand,
Mm-hmm.
out while I was a vegetarian. And they talk about how it's just like meat, and it even looks, like if you're making a burger with it, it even looks like it could be like medium rare. And that alone, I was like, nope.
It's beet juice.
Yes.
They try to make it have like a color to it.
Yep.
Didn't
It
realize
looks a little.
that makes me feel better though. Then I'm thinking like they're pumping it with dye, which would defeat the purpose of it being more of the natural burger. But I've been intrigued by it. I just couldn't purchase it. I couldn't put it in my cart.
You should. It's so good. It's expensive. It's expensive, but it's really, really good.
Meat right now, and maybe that's why I
That's
don't
true.
like it, because I'm going, man, I'm paying $5.99 for crappy ground beef.
Yeah.
So that could just be part of it's a mental thing for me that it's tasting different.
Isn't that funny? I feel like it's such a mental thing. So we never used to buy like organic anything. Just like when I was brought up, that wasn't even a thing really. It was just food that was at the grocery store. Over the last couple of years, we've really been trying to make an effort to buy organic with everything. And now during COVID, when all of that was happening, there was such a shortage of everything that we had to buy meat and produce that wasn't organic. And it was such a mental thing that I was like, I feel gross eating this banana because it's not organic. But like, it's so funny how it's such a mental thing. It's not anything different from anything else that we were eating, but because it doesn't have a green sticker on it, I'm like, ew.
But it does. And I think I've shared in a past episode, for like the first 2 years of Owen's life, he ate like all organic, because actually probably longer, probably first 4 years, I would say, just because I felt like it was a cleaner choice for him. I don't know if it's actually true. I never did the research. It just made my mom heart feel better. So that's why I did it.
Same.
But I hear, I'll eat a whole bag of Doritos and not even like give it a second thought.
Well, and that's the funny thing, right? I think as new moms, we're like, only organic, only, the best. And then by the time they're 3, they're like, Jace once ate chicken nuggets out of the trash can.
You know why he was in there? He was going after the artwork. Reference back to the last episode if you want to know what that is about. But he found a chicken nugget.
We take such care with our tiny little precious babies to make sure we're only giving them the best, which of course. And then by the time they're 3, they're eating chicken nuggets out of a trash can and French fries off the car floor. Like,
I'll never forget, we were at the PX. This is down in El Paso. And there was this beautiful play area at the PX. And you could get all sorts of food there. They had a beautiful food court. And a good friend of mine and myself and Owen and his good friend were playing. And this mom had like 1,000 kids in tow. And she literally must have just been tired and needed a break. She took her box of fries from McDonald's and just scattered them on the floor of like the play thing and was like, eat. Like, it was awful, like in my head. But now looking back, that was a mom of one that I don't want to say I was judging, but I could not fathom putting food on the ground,
right?
No,
to feed my child. But looking back, I go, her plate was so full. Like if she didn't do that, she probably was going to lose it. And that was a way to keep her kids like occupied for a second. They were fed and they were playing. I mean, who am I?
Yep, you do you, man. You do you.
Wow.
Yeah, that Bridgette's like, that's amazing.
I mean, even I wouldn't do something like that.
I mean, I didn't want to say that, but since you did. No, we tease, but we really support each other's decisions on how we choose to parent. Because basically our choices are our grief to, carry.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm spoiling Owen and then sending him over to Bridgette's and like, you deal with them.
He'd starve over here. That poor guy, he'd think he was in prison over here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, that's not true. That's
no, it's not.
Yeah, this was fun. I think that all of the episodes, not the episodes, the recipes that we share will benefit some of the moms, working moms out there that need a quick and tried and true recipe. That's my problem. I love Pinterest. You guys know I am on Pinterest a lot.
Yep.
But my biggest issue is, I want to go with a recipe that I know has actually been tried and true. And it's true to the picture that they're showing me, because I've tried some and they've been a flop.
Same. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's devastating when you go, well, this is all I had time to cook. And now what do I do? What do I feed my family? And you're in the same pickle that you would have been if you hadn't even tried.
Yeah. That's when you do the $5 hot and ready night.
Man, and that is a lifesaver for moms.
It is.
Get a bread, get a $5 pizza or whatever else from there, and boom, dinner's on the table. And what kid doesn't love it? And I remember back when it wasn't $5 hot and ready, but my mom, because we had a larger family, she would buy the party pizza.
Oh, yeah.
And it came in like a paper, you just ripped it. Oh, that was so good. Oh, good memories.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I've never heard of such a thing. It was two like deep dish pizzas basically put together. Is that kind of how I'm remembering it correctly, Bridgette?
Yep.
Interesting.
We'll find a picture of it.
Nope, never heard of that. Sounds good though.
Picture of it and put it on our social media.
Yes, it was fun, but pizza was way more expensive back then than it is now. I feel like it stayed the same price.
So I do remember when
luxury. Go ahead, Danielle.
I do remember when they all started to kind of drop. It was Little Caesars that started it, I think. And then everybody sort of just followed suit. And then all pizza was like $5. And then they all started to creep up a little bit here and there. Except for Little Caesars. They've stayed strong. I think, what are they, $5.55 out here? Something like that instead of $5.
$6 down where I'm at. But $6 for a whole pizza, I'll take it all day long.
There's still $5 in Brownstown. I'm just saying.
Listen,
independently owned.
I love it. So, how should we wrap up this episode? What are any final thoughts that we have to share with our listeners about recipes or cooking or anything of that nature? And what is our B for today?
I would like for everybody to share their favorite recipes or, 1, 2, 5, whatever. Quick, easy, simple recipes. Let us know.
Yes. I love that point because I could use the help.
Did I freeze? I feel like I froze.
You froze a little, but it's okay. We understood. Okay. Give me the recipes. Bridgette, any final thoughts from you?
No.
What's our B?
She's like, you guys are on your own. I'm done for the day. Peace. I'm out.
What's our B?
Be a cooker.
Be sharing those recipes with us.
I'm okay with that.
It's more of a demand. Please be sharing those recipes with us. If we don't sound desperate, we haven't conveyed it good enough that we indeed are.
Correct.
Help your fellow working mamas out.
Yes, please.
So be sharing those recipes. There you go. A little lengthier than normal, but regardless, very good. All right. Well, we will see you. Did anyone catch that? We will see you next week is what I meant to say. So till next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.